What's up, Team No T, and welcome back to Unwrapped. You know, this is the place that I'm going to give you way more than just the latest gossip. We're going to dig a little deeper, we think a little bit harder, and we always keep it a buck. That is why I know I just talked about KOSA the other day, but I got more things to say. So that's why we're going to be talking about KOSA because something been simmering around in the back of my mind and it's got me feeling a little bit uneasy. This whole KOSA thing, the Kids Online Safety Act. I did a video about it if you wanted to know like the basics of it, but we're going to now make a parallel. On the surface, nobody wants kids to be harmed online. That should be a given, right? That's a no-brainer. We all want our little babies to be safe, especially in these internet streets. But the more I read about this bill, the more a certain movie keeps popping up in my mind. And that is one of my favorite MCU feature films, Captain America, The Winter Soldier. What? Don't look at me like that. You heard me right. Cap and KOSA. Now stay with me, folks, because I think there are some seriously chilling parallels between KOSA and Captain America, The Winter Soldier. So don't judge me. Don't judge me before you hear my arguments. This is Cultural Survival 101.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
So think back to that movie. What was the big threat? It wasn't some external alien force this time like it was in the first Avengers movie. It was Project Insight. These massive helicarriers armed with what? Algorithms that could identify and eliminate threats before they even happen. And the justification for that is to keep the world safe, to prevent future catastrophes. And all that sounds good, right? But as the movie went on, what did we learn? We learned that this system was built with good intentions. The road to hell is always paved with good intentions, or at least it was marketed with good intentions. This system was actually a Trojan horse. Hydra, remember the insidious organization that was lurking in the shadows? That organization had infiltrated SHIELD and weaponized Project Insight. So it wasn't about stopping terrorists in reality, it was about eliminating anybody who might stand in their way. Freedom was being sacrificed at the altar of security, and the people did not even see it coming. Now, here's where I bring it back to KOSA. The stated goal is to protect children online. And who's going to argue with that? But the way this bill is written, the vague language around a platform's duty of care to prevent harm, well, it's giving me serious Project Insight vibes, y'all. Think about it. To comply with KOSA, platforms are going to need to know who their users are and, more importantly, who the young users are. How are they going to do that? Probably through more data collection, more age verification. These things open the door for a level of surveillance that should make us all uncomfortable.
Get me off the grid!
And who gets to decide what's harmful content? Will it be clearly defined or will it be open to interpretation? Because what one person considers harmful, another might see as educational or even necessary. Remember, we are talking about a generation growing up online, exploring their identities, finding communities. Are we going to create a system where their access to information and diverse perspectives is policed under the guise of safety? Just like Project Insight was supposed to target threats but ended up targeting anybody that Hydra deemed an enemy, KOSA in the wrong hands could be used to silence dissenting voices, to limit access to crucial information, and to create an online environment where conformity is valued over critical thinking. Now, if y'all hung out with me before, you know I am not about fear mongering. I'm about being informed and asking the tough questions. We saw in The Winter Soldier what happens when unchecked power, even with good intentions, falls into the wrong hands. The freedoms we cherish were almost extinguished by a system designed to protect us. And here's the thing, folks. In the MCU, when things went sideways, there was a Captain America. There was a hero with unwavering morals who was willing to stand up against the tide. And even when it meant fighting his own allies, he saw the truth and he fought for what was right. But in the real world, in the fight for our digital freedoms, we don't have a super soldier with a shield. We don't have a Nick Fury pulling strings in the background. I mean, we might have somebody pulling strings in the background, but that's a conversation for another day. Ain't no Nick Fury. What we do have is each other. We have our voices, we have our ability to research, to question, to speak out. We can contact our representatives. We can join organizations fighting for digital rights. We can educate ourselves and each other on the potential dangers of bills like KOSA. The truth is, y'all, we can't rely on a single hero to save the day. We all need to be a little bit of Captain America in this scenario. We need to be vigilant. We need to be critical. We need to be brave enough to question authority and fight for the freedoms we believe in, especially the freedom to access information and express ourselves online. Because the internet, for all of its flaws, and there are a lot of flaws, but it still is a powerful tool for connection, for learning, for progress. Let's not allow well intentioned but potentially dangerous legislation to turn it into a cage built in the name of safety. Y'all might know me as the no tea lady. I always end my videos telling you that you deserve more than just tea, but you also deserve more than just silence. You deserve so much more than censorship. You deserve the freedom to explore, to learn, to connect without the threat of unwarranted surveillance, control. So, what are your thoughts on KOSA? Let me know in the comments if you see the parallels between the Winter Soldiers Project Insight and KOSA, or was I just high? And then while you're there, drop more topics. Anything that you guys think that I should talk about in the future, drop it in the comments below. And before I wrap up, I always like to leave you with a little recommendation for your viewing pleasure. If you haven't seen it in a while or ever, go back and watch Captain America the Winter Soldier with a fresh perspective. You might be surprised at how relevant a superhero movie can be to the real world challenges that we're facing today. All right, that's all I got for you this week. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, do all of those things. And hopefully, I share a little info today. I love to share info. I do not spill tea. You deserve so much more than just tea. All right, see you in the next one. Peace.